Hello creation, I hope you're well. I've just written this, it's just come through, it's called The Rebirthed Cognitive Self. Do we ever know who the hell is who? In a world of comings and goings in this systematic zoo? If we explore the depth of question, we be cast into the maze to add to the euphoria in the midst of all the craze. Deeper into mindset, to explore what some deplore, to venture to the unknown for the sole purpose to explore, seeking that of wisdom hidden in the hope for one to find, and the only thing that stops us is the fear within the mind. Do you really want to live in fear and flush love right down the drain? When offered with enlightenment, or enlightened word, by choice, do you abstain? Do you hold back in resistance, afraid of what your peers would think? When those questions beg of answers, do you hold your breath and try not to blink? You see, I'm sorry to point out to you that this world is not what it seems. We are that of consciousness experiencing life within a dream. To say it is illusion is a vast understatement, yet this point of view could trigger those who live a life within beratement. Try to disassociate from the physicality of the being, to become the observer of self, gifts new perspectives to all that seeing. And when you become the observer and learn to master disassociation, you will learn of who you truly are, a masterful creator. Then, with newfound wisdom and a peace within the soul, you will reach every target set pre-incarnation as was the goal. And the life that you will cultivate radiates the rebirthed cognitive self. It is then up to you how you measure this when it comes to measuring your wealth. You see, that's it. True treasure surely lays within one's own ability to disassociate from drama, to heal the trauma, to disassociate from trauma, not to ignore trauma, because you've got to heal from it. So you've got to face it, what's happened, and you've got to heal from it. Acknowledge it and let it go, as has been mentioned many times in these videos. But what a place to be, what a place of power within yourself when, fear's banished. Fear is banished. It no longer becomes a part of your life, because you've accepted what's been, you've healed from what's been, and you've released that what's been. So it's vitally important for your own self-progression, really. The evolution of the soul, of the spirit, of the body, of the mind, all of it, of the consciousness. It's vitally important. That's when you can become the conscious creator, as it were. There's a lot of people who won't want to touch this with a barge pole, and as has been said many times before, it's comfort. It's comforting. So unfortunately, many would rather stay in the comfort of lack, or of the, I want to term this right, but like sitting in ignorance of knowing, because they don't know which way to progress. They know something's wrong within themselves. They know that they don't like how they feel, and this can be on a daily basis. This can be on moment to moment, and it can be a living hell. Would you not want to clear that energy? Stuck energy. It's energy that needs releasing. It's stuck energy. That's what it is. So the best way you can do that is not to look for tablets to do it. I don't think so. That's my own personal point of view. Don't get me wrong, I have in the past gone on those kind of tablets in the past. But the stronger you become, the more you realise that, and the clearer that you become, as it were, about the clearer that you become within your own conscious awareness, should I say, that's more like it, the more you realise that you don't actually need those tablets. You don't actually, because you've got yourself to a place where you're strong enough to do your own inner healing. And I know that sometimes we need something to, I think it depends upon the individual. I think it depends upon where they are exactly, and I don't mean location as in where they live. I'm on about on their journey of life. Let's just say journey of life, and it may be a combination of both. There's many different ways in which we can combat trauma, or address trauma, should I say, and reveal trauma. It doesn't just have to be through counselling. It doesn't have to just be through, it can be through meditation. There's lots of different kinds of treatments. What I would say is give them a go. If you haven't exhausted every avenue and you're still struggling, try those avenues. Exhaust those avenues. Because all it takes is just one thing, and it might be one different. It could be Reiki treatment, it could be meditation technique, it could be hypnosis, it could be anything. It could be anything. There's many different ways in which we can release that trauma and get to that trauma. But first, the biggest step is you've got to acknowledge it. It's no good hiding it away, keeping it locked away, because that's just gonna, as I said, keep saying, it's gonna fester and fester and fester. So you don't want that, because it's wasting life. It's wasting precious breath. It's wasting precious energy. It really is. So as soon as we can get to that root core, which, don't get me wrong, can take a long time. Of course it can, depending on what you will have to clear. And as has been said before, it might not just be for you. It could be for soul family. It could be for bloodline. It could be for, ancestral. There could be just blockages that you're unblocking for creation, as opposed to just, that's directly sort of in your bloodline, as it were. So, but don't be afraid of it. I know it's going to be uncomfortable when you do go into it, and you're going to go through something what's known as the dark night of the soul. You might go through it many times, but at the end of it, you've got to go through what you've got to go through to release it. You've got to address it. You've got to face it. Anyway, these videos are only meant to help. If any of them do trigger, I've said this before as well, anybody, then look at why. And it's not because I'm an arsehole. Look at yourself within and see what it is what's being said that's actually triggering you. Because that is a sure sign that you've got something that needs addressing within yourself. Okay. Alright, anyway, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, if there's no love and light around you, you'll be the love, you'll be that light. You'll light it all up, and you will make a beautiful change in this world and throughout all of creation. Promise you will. That's it for today. Take care.